Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for support if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
All right, we're now going live. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you all that continue to rock with me, that continue to follow me. Make sure you subscribe to the new channel if you haven't done so at Dorsey's Resource 873. That's the new channel at Dorsey's Resource 873. The topic of this video I wanted to discuss is their agenda ? My thoughts. It's a lot to unpack. I didn't really plan on being before you all that long. Just kind of wanted to give an update as well. Those who once again, who continue to still follow me, still rock with me, you are much appreciated. And I want to say we need to stay the course. And there's some new information coming to the forefront that I'm gathering. I've been doing a lot of studying, a lot of research behind the scenes. And in case you all don't know, there's a big meeting. I did a video last year. You all may not remember, where I reported on that this is like an annual meeting. It's one of the most powerful groups in the entire world, known as the World Economic Forum or the Davos group. There's meetings that are set to begin tomorrow, January 15th, by the way, through the 19th. It's an annual meeting that takes place from this year. It's going to be January 15th through the 19th in Davos, Switzerland. This is a meeting, in case you all don't understand, that there's very powerful people. You all have heard me use that keyword. I may mention it later, that I've referred to many times before as the ruling class elite. Just to give you guys a background, it's similar. It's like the daylight version of the Bilderberg meeting, which they never intended to go public, by the way. It's a close connection, but more than 300 public figures will participate this year, including more than 60 heads of state and government. There will be strong representation from all key regions of the world, top political leaders taking part, to include, Xi Jinping, or Liang Quang. This is the premier of the People's Republic of China. I may have had, I'm not sure if that's Xi. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is supposed to be in attendance. Ursula von der Leyen, president of the European Commission. Javier Milei, president of Argentina. Han Duck-soo, prime minister of the Republic of Korea. Pedro Sanchez, prime minister of Spain, supposed to be in attendance. Viola Amherd, president of the Swiss Confederation 2024 Federal Counselor of Defense, Civil Protection, and Sports. It says Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine. Alexander De Croo, prime minister, of Belgium. Gustavo Francisco Petro Irrego, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing the names. This states that this is the president of Colombia, and this is just the name. There's a ton of people on the list, but I want my audience to understand. You can go on the website. They have their agenda. Part of their agenda is saying that they plan on rebuilding trust. It says Davos 2024 is the 54th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum under the theme Rebuilding Trust. Very interesting. Now let's go back to the title of this video. I have their agenda ? And I'm putting in my thoughts. It's a lot to unpack. And I'm on, just to give you all a heads up, I'm on their website now, just going over brief sections. It said under the theme Rebuilding Trust, the meeting aims to restore collective agency and reinforce the fundamental principles of transparency and consistency and accountability among leaders. By the way, looks like they're checking back up to make sure that their leaders are in line. Actually, this is what they're not telling you. I'm just putting this part in, that this is ran by some of the most powerful people in the world. It says the program embodies a back to basic spirit of open and constructive dialogue between leaders of government, business, and civil society. The goal is to help connect the dots in an increasingly complex environment and provide foresight by introducing the latest advances in science, industry, and society. That's actually not. Let me translate that for you all. That isn't totally the case. See, they're making this seem like a bubblegum and flowers, milk and honey, that this is their agenda. But in actuality, this is also about behind the scenes. They have nefarious intentions. It's about controlling governments of around the world, implementing a UN treaty, by the way, a health treaty that was trying to will get rid of informed consent or people's right to choose, by the way, just medically, just completely annihilate that when it comes to the mainly to the what. I can't really say because with YouTube when that we had that thing that took place. You guys remember, pretty sure a few years ago, that everything got locked down with. By the way, but yeah, they're saying their goal is they're trying to make this seem how can I put it seem trendy, hip, but in actuality there's another side to this agenda. And part of this, what they're not telling you, the World Economic Forum has also deemed free speech. Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, as a threat to their global agenda. And YouTube, which is now owned by Google, their parent company Alphabet, has updated their policies. By the way, I have to probably get to that later. There was content creators you can look up have done a separate video where they're trying to up the stakes, where they're trying to move in ways to criminalize people discussing certain topics that they don't want or feel that they shouldn't. They stated that are future events of newsworthy, but related to events like pandemic stuff like that, they don't want you discussing anymore. You see how they're doing different things, but they still allow things that are like level of rated R, rated X, with a lot of videos, as I pointed out in the past, with different things YouTube is allowed has been hypocritical. But when people have come with G-rated or PG-13 content, if they didn't like what they were discussing or like what they were talking about, then these content creators run the risk of having their channel shut down for frivolous reasons that they come up with, such as misinformation and disinformation. And this is forms of torturous interference. This is criminal, as I've stated many times before. This is a violation of antitrust laws. By the way, we just need the right person with the deep pockets. I think what I was learning, you may have to take them to a certain type of court, by the way, to get true justice. Why many have failed in the past and has not, that have had lawsuits against YouTube and that have not been successful, because to my understanding, with my research, it's dealing with redemption education, I call it, or sovereignty. Appears to be there may be a special type of court or jurisdiction they have to be brought in. You have to get them. You may have to take them in equity and get them a certain way to get actual true justice. And the problem is that a lot of people in the public sector, because I know how the elites, many people don't know, the ruling class elite created a structure for like the school systems and stuff for their slaves to learn. They don't learn. I told a friend of mine this all the time. When you go to college or regular elementary school, high school, you're not being taught the real information. See, the elites, when they're growing up, they're taught by their parents. They're sent to private schools by invitation only. I was even informed some years ago that the school at one time, I'm pretty sure Bill Gates' children are older now. I don't know how they were at the time, but I heard the school that his children went to, I don't remember the name of it, so don't quote me exactly. They stated that they were exempt from Common Core curriculum at the time. saw a report on this. You can look it up, research it. I don't remember the name, but just to show you, a lot of their children, many people don't understand, will go into the types of fields, and they will make it seem like it's humanitarian efforts and things, but a lot of times it could be it's nefarious intentions behind it, because we know for a fact the elites want world depopulation. Even though the Georgia Guidestones are no longer up, they were for a number of years before they were destroyed. And I don't know if they're ever going to bring them back. Just like the mural at the Denver airport was removed because it was bringing, I believe, so much attention, so much awareness, that they saw that so many people are waking up. But the Georgia Guidestones, they admitted, just, this is a pretty known fact. This is not conspiracy theory, that before they were destroyed, it was written on them, and even in different languages, that they wanted to reduce the world's population down to around 500 million. So if it's about 800 billion, 8 billion people on the planet, they wanted to bring it down to around 500 million. That's a significant portion. By the way, these people, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I went over this before in the past, but this is very important. I don't want to sound like doom and gloom. This is not fear porn. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. By the way, these people are very, very evil, and you need to understand the Illuminati is real. This is not a joke. To have an understanding, you need to research, you need to look this information up, you need to understand it. And if you're in the politics or you're a politician, if you really are for the people, you will be against a lot of the things that they try to promote as a positive light. Is really not, as they try to make it appear. There's really nefarious intentions. Like they want, I can't really go into all the details because I don't have my notes with me, but related to, so they call it like fossil fuels and things, where they want to mandate in the near future all cars to go to EV, electric vehicles, to get rid of gas running cars, stuff like that, and then they blame it on the environment. A friend of mine brought up a very amazing point recently. Such a brilliant mind that I speak with. I believe he knows I'm not just trying to, how can I say, put him on a pedestal. He stays humble, but he brought up a very good point. I talked about how a certain individual wanted to terraform a particular planet. For those that believe in that, I know some of the flat Earth people don't believe in exoplanets and things, but I was telling them about a certain individual, and I won't say the name. I'll let people fill in the dots, that wants to terraform Mars. So this has been talked about. I know he's planning on a trip there, wants to send the Starship there, said, or whatever. And a friend of mine says, if they have that technology to terraform another planet, he says, why are they not using that same technology to make our planet Earth better? If they're telling us that, because of our carbon emissions or the carbon dioxide we breathe, and all this other stuff that they come up with, they're saying that now, don't get me wrong, I'm not an advocate to say you should just be polluting the planet, this, that, and the other, but it's being blown way out of proportion. If you are aware, the elites have an agenda where they want to get rid of currency altogether one day and have something called carbon credits, where they want, part of this agenda is a push for CBDCs. If you've heard of central bank digital currencies, to push us to a cashless society, but there's a process they have to bring you to prior before they can enforce some of these things, and this is why they want to fully destroy America and take over, as they've done many other countries already. This is a worldwide plan. This is not just isolated here. Why they want to collapse borders, dissolve borders, and enforce a global CBDC cashless society, and have like a system that's ran. They use China. A reason you wonder why China is brought up as a model. I was informed by Mel K, who does good reports on Band.video, that Bill Gates and Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, you can look up who Eric Schmidt is, set up the Chinese, their computer system that ties in with their surveillance system and their social credit system, where over there they not only have a regular credit score, you have something called a social credit score, which would be based off, like, imagine if you combine cancel culture, which has already kind of happened over here with certain entertainers or famous people that they deem a threat that go outside of the box or speak outside of the norm. They attack them. And there's a thing where many people are familiar with called cancel culture, where the globalists want to weaponize it to give you an understanding against your average American. This is your everyday person. It can get far worse, and they plan on doing this. And remember, Eric Snowden came out years ago as a contractor for the National Security Agency. He was a whistleblower and admitted things, hardcore evidence that the government, they were spying on Americans. I even saw a local news report that this was unconstitutional, this was illegal. But it's like, okay, I'm wondering, I'm scratching my head, like, if this is unconstitutional, if this is illegal, why don't we have politicians or people who are concerned that are enforcing this to get these people that are not supposed to be doing these things arrested or to stop, to have face some type of consequences? So this evil world that they're trying to bring in, this totalitarian state, there's a name for it. It's tyranny or totalitarian control that 1984 talks about. Orwell, the Orwellian police state, but to a very much in a very bad way. They have very nefarious intentions. So their plan is, their number one plan, I heard Klaus Schwab has mentioned, is to censor free speech worldwide. They also want to take over, as I kind of touched on briefly, with the World Health Organization treaty. They want to take over the whole national medical system, by the way, with this treaty, and say, hey, that this treaty gives us authority or rights that trumps our laws that we already have already with OSHA and right to privacy and informed consent. They want to obliterate all that and say, hey, this is above the jurisdiction of your federal government, which that's BS. So we need people to fight against this, to reject this, and be aware. And that's why we need politicians to thoroughly understand. Because what the World Economic Forum does, why I read the part earlier when they say rebuilding trust, they know they're losing the information war. And people and even politicians are starting to understand their secret agenda as far as depopulation, what they have done to the farming industry, the agricultural industry, to create artificial scarcity, to intentionally keep things from causing our economy to grow in a natural way. It's the best way I can put it, in the simplest form. By the way, and you can learn more about this type of information, what I'm going over, for a better assessment, a better evaluation over at band.video. By the way, that's why they make the individual over there, they accuse him of being a conspiracy theorist, a racist, so many things. He's working for the Vatican, controlled opposition. They say many of these things, white supremacists, all the whole 9 yards. And I don't believe none of that BS. It's a bunch of BS, because they want to steer you away. They don't want the left hand to know what the right hand is doing, and vice versa. Now, I'm not saying in some instances where someone has different opinions versus, other people, but notice the mainstream media outlets out there push that narrative that this individual is a conspiracy theorist, and they'll come up with all these different labels that this man is crazy, this, that, and other. And I'm going to be honest, just revealing this for the first time to you guys without saying the name. I'll let you guys can pretty much figure out who I'm talking about without me even having to say the name. I've been a listener of a number of years. I have purchased a lot of his products. His supplements do actually work, by the way. It's been a while since I've done a review video. I was thinking about doing that. Maybe I should, let me know. And I've, continue to support him, but also try to spread the word. And not just myself. It is others that I know, and many other numerous people that know about him. There's people that do follow him, but don't be afraid, because the thing is, you have to understand, he's brought this up before, that when people kowtow, give in to tyranny, tyranny is one of the types of things where people think that giving in to it, or just going along with things, is going to, prolong the inevitable, make things lessen the load. No, it's not. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, we all have to fight. We're all in this fight together, and you'll understand more so down the road. Many people got a taste of it with the pandemic that took place in the past. If you just think about many of the different things, tactics they had pulled. Look, if you know about the law, if you follow Epoch Times, the law that governor of New York passed for concentration camps in the state of New York. They're going to try to reword it and call it COVID camps. So she pretty much signed a bill to legalize concentration camps in the state of New York. It's funny how, or interesting, how we know what the Jewish community went through, because I saw it was a movie years ago. I don't know if it was Schindler's List. By the way, it was a movie about the Holocaust. I watched it with my mother. She actually explained it to me when I was a little boy. I didn't understand it and narrated it. And they had tunnels and stuff to escape what they were doing over there, the horrific evil that was going on with the Nazis, with Hitler, the Germans. And I didn't understand it, but they just had in the news recently that I think the city of New York, or wherever that specific part, they were in legal talks that they had discovered these underground tunnels within the synagogues there, or whatever. And my history teacher used to say years ago, those who do not learn from the history can be condemned to repeat the history as well.